Ada for giving my sister and her daughters a week to move out? I need to know if I'm the asshole here, because my entire family is acting like I just kicked a puppy. But I'm so angry I can barely see straight. 3 years ago, my sister Rachel showed up at my door at 2 a.m. with her 2 daughters, ages 6 and 9 at the time. She had a black eye, a garbage bag of clothes, and nowhere else to go. Her husband, sorry, ex-husband now, had finally crossed a line she couldn't uncross. I didn't even hesitate. I told her she could stay as long as she needed. That was supposed to be temporary. Now it's been 3 years. Rachel has a decent job now, the girls are settled in school, and I've basically become a third parent. I love my nieces more than anything, but I'm 32 years old and I feel like my life has been on hold since the night they arrived. I can't date because there's always someone home. I can't save money because groceries for 5 people cost a fortune. I can't even walk around my own house in my underwear anymore. But I didn't say anything. Rachel was healing. The girls were thriving. I could handle the inconvenience. Then last Tuesday happened. I came home early from work. Boss sent us home because of a gas leak and found Rachel in my bedroom. Not just in my bedroom, at my desk, with my laptop open, going through my bank statements. She jumped when she saw me, actually physically jumped, and slammed the laptop shut. I asked her what the hell she was doing. She got defensive immediately, said she was just checking something, that she thought I wouldn't mind. I told her I absolutely did mind, that those were private, and asked her again what she was doing. That's when she said it. I was seeing if you could afford to help me with a down payment on a house. I just stared at her. She kept talking, explaining how she'd found this perfect place, 3 bedrooms, great school district, and she was so close to having enough for the down payment. She just needed maybe $15,000, maybe $20,000. She'd seen my savings account balance, without my permission, and knew I had it. I told her no, absolutely not. That money was mine, that I'd been saving for years, and I had my own plans. She started crying, said she thought I'd want to help family, said she'd done so much for me over the years, which, for the record, she hasn't. I'm the younger sister. I'm the one who's always helped her. She brought up how I saved her life by taking her in, and now I wouldn't help her take the next step toward independence. I lost it. I told her she'd been living rent-free in my house for 3 years, that I'd never asked for a dime for utilities, groceries, or anything else, that I'd put my entire life on pause to make sure she and the girls were safe and stable, and that going through my private financial information without permission was a massive violation of trust. She called me selfish, said I was hoarding money while she was struggling to build a life for her daughters, said if the situation were reversed, she'd help me without a second thought. I told her she had a week to find somewhere else to live. She went pale, started backtracking, saying she didn't mean it, that she was just stressed and desperate. But I was done. I repeated 1 week. Now the girls are crying because they have to leave the only stable home they've had in years. Rachel is telling everyone in our family that I'm kicking out a domestic violence survivor and her children over money. My mom has called me 6 times. My aunt showed up at my door yesterday to tell me I should be ashamed of myself. But here's what nobody seems to understand. It's not about the money. It's about the fact that she went through my private information, saw what I had, and immediately started planning how to take it. It's about the entitlement. It's about 3 years of temporary, turning into indefinite, and now apparently bankroll me too. My best friend says I have every right to be angry, but that a week isn't enough time for someone with kids to find housing. That I should give her at least 30 days, maybe 60. That I'm punishing the girls for their mother's mistake. And maybe that's true. Maybe I am. But I'm so tired. I'm tired of coming home to a full house. I'm tired of never having privacy. I'm tired of being taken for granted. And I'm especially tired of being treated like an ATM by someone who was literally going through my financial records behind my back. So Ada, should I extend the deadline? Should I just give her the money and call it the cost of getting my house back? Or am I justified in wanting them out after what she did? I genuinely don't know anymore. I can't tell if I'm being reasonable or if I'm being cruel. The girls leave drawings on my kitchen counter. Yesterday I found one that said, "Thank you for being the best aunt ever," with a picture of the 3 of us. It's currently folded in my desk drawer because I can't look at it without feeling like the worst person alive. But I also can't shake the image of Rachel at my laptop, scrolling through my bank account, calculating what she could take. 1 week is now 5 days. I haven't changed my mind yet. Update. It's been 3 days since I posted. I didn't think I'd be back here so soon, but things have spiraled in ways I couldn't have anticipated. First, thank you to everyone who responded. Reading through hundreds of comments at 3 a.m. while sitting in my car in a grocery store parking lot was probably not my finest moment. But I needed perspective from people who weren't related to me or emotionally invested in taking sides. A lot of you said I needed to check my credit. I did. I'll get to that. So after I posted, I tried to avoid Rachel as much as possible. I've been staying late at work, going to the gym, basically anything to not be in that house. But yesterday morning, I couldn't avoid it anymore because my mother showed up. Not called. Showed up. At 7 a.m. with my Aunt Linda. I answered the door in my pajamas, coffee not even finished brewing, and there they were. Mom pushed past me into the living room where Rachel was feeding the girls breakfast before school. The girls looked terrified. They knew something bad was happening. Mom didn't even say hello to me. She turned to Rachel and said, "Pack a bag. You and the girls are coming to stay with me until she comes to her senses." I felt something crack inside my chest. "Excuse me?" Mom finally looked at me. "You should be ashamed. Your own sister. Those babies. Over money." I tried to explain, again, that it wasn't about money, it was about trust, about boundaries, about 3 years of my life. Mom cut me off. "You don't understand what it's like to be a mother. What you have to do to protect your children. Rachel made a mistake, yes, but you're going to destroy those girls' stability over one mistake." Aunt Linda jumped in. "Your sister has been through hell. She's finally getting back on her feet. And you're going to ruin it because she looked at some numbers on a screen. She went through my private financial information without permission," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "She calculated how much of my savings she thought she could take. That's not looking at some numbers." Rachel was crying now, the girls were crying, and I was standing in my own living room feeling like I was on trial. "I said I was sorry," Rachel said between sobs. "I don't know what else you want from me. I want you to understand why what you did was wrong," I said. "I want you to acknowledge that you've been living here rent-free for 3 years, and instead of being grateful, you decided you were entitled to even more." Mom's face went red. "Grateful? She's your sister. Family doesn't charge family rent. Family doesn't keep score. Family also doesn't go through each other's bank accounts." I was yelling now. The girls flinched. That's when my niece Emma, the older one who's 12 now, said in this small voice, "Mommy, you said Aunt Sarah wanted to help us. You said she offered." The room went silent. I looked at Rachel. "What did you tell them?" Rachel wouldn't meet my eyes. I didn't want them to think." "What did you tell them, Rachel?" "I told them you were helping me save for a house," she whispered. "That we were doing it together. I didn't want them to worry about money." My hands were shaking. "So not only did you plan to take my money without asking, you already told your children that I'd agreed to it? I thought you'd say yes." Rachel burst out. "You've helped with everything else. Why wouldn't you help with this? It's not like you have anything else to spend it on. You don't have kids. You don't have a boyfriend. You just sit in this house alone. Get out." Everyone froze. "Mom, Linda, thank you for coming, but you need to leave. Rachel, you still have 5 days. Use them wisely." Mom started to argue, but something in my face must have stopped her. She grabbed Rachel's hand. "Come on, pack some things. You're not staying where you're not wanted." They left within an hour. The girls were both crying. Emma hugged me before they left and whispered, "I'm sorry, Aunt Sarah. That broke something in me," but I held it together until they were gone. Then I sat in my empty house, my finally empty house, and cried for 2 hours straight. But here's where it gets worse. After I pulled myself together, I remembered what several commenters had said about checking my credit. I signed up for one of those monitoring services and pulled my credit report. There were 3 credit cards I didn't recognize. 3 cards opened over the last 18 months in my name. Total balance, $47,000. I think I stopped breathing. I called the credit card companies immediately. The addresses on file were all my address. The phone number was Rachel's cell. The cards had been used for everything from groceries to car repairs to what looked like a used car purchase to cash advances. I have never in my life opened a credit card without reading every single piece of fine print. I'm obsessive about my credit score, and somehow there were 3 cards I knew nothing about. The customer service representatives were sympathetic but firm. The accounts were opened with my social security number, my date of birth, my address. They'd sent physical cards to my address. Someone at this address had activated them and been using them. Rachel had been getting my mail for 3 years. She was always the one home when the mail came. "I'll grab it," she'd say. "I'm already out here." I felt like I was going to throw up. I filed police reports for identity theft. All 3 credit card companies are investigating. I froze my credit. And then I called my lawyer. Yes, I have a lawyer now because apparently I need one. The lawyer said I need to press charges if I want the debt removed from my credit. That means Rachel could be arrested for felony identity theft. She could go to jail. The girls could end up in foster care or with my mother, who's 68 and not exactly equipped to raise two kids. I called Rachel. She didn't answer. I called my mother. Did you know? I asked. Know what? Did you know Rachel opened credit cards in my name? Silence. Long, horrible silence. Mom. She told me she had some cards. Mom finally said. She said they were helping her rebuild her credit. I didn't know they were in your name. She stole my identity. She's been committing fraud for over a year. There's $47,000 in debt that I didn't create. Oh, Sarah. Mom's voice cracked. Oh no. I have to press charges. The credit card companies won't remove the debt otherwise. It's either that or I'm responsible for $47,000 plus whatever interest has been accumulating. You can't, Mom said immediately. She'll go to jail. The girls. I know what will happen to the girls. I was crying again. Don't you think I know? But what am I supposed to do? Just accept that my credit is destroyed? That I'm in debt for the next decade? That my savings are gone because I'll have to use them to pay off her debt? She's your sister. She's a thief. Mom was crying now too. Please, there has to be another way. Let me talk to her. Maybe she can, payment plan? I can help. Linda can help. We'll figure something out. The debt is in my name, Mom. I'm the one they're coming after. And even if by some miracle you all manage to pay it off, my credit is already trashed. Do you know what this does to a credit score? I was going to buy a house next year. I was going to finally start my life. And now I can't get a loan for a bicycle. I hung up. I couldn't listen to her cry anymore. That was yesterday. Today, Rachel called me. Finally. I need to explain, she said. There's nothing to explain. You stole my identity. I was desperate. I needed a way to build up money for the house, for the girls' activities, you committed fraud. I was going to pay it back, she shouted, before you ever found out. I have a payment plan. I'm working overtime. You were never going to pay back $47,000 on your salary, Rachel. Be honest with yourself. She was sobbing. I can't go to jail. The girls need me. Please, I'll do anything. I'll sign something saying I'll pay you back. I'll work 3 jobs. Just please don't press charges. The credit card companies need a police report to investigate. I don't have a choice. You always have a choice, she screamed. You're choosing to destroy my life. You're choosing to put your money over your niece's. I'm choosing not to let you ruin my entire financial future. I'm their mother. They need me. What kind of aunt are you? I hung up. My lawyer says I need to proceed with the charges. That any promises Rachel makes won't be legally binding and won't remove the debt from my name. That this is the only way. But I keep thinking about Emma hugging me. About the drawing in my desk drawer. About the girls having to visit their mother in jail if it comes to that. Some of you said in the comments that I needed to protect myself. That I couldn't set myself on fire to keep someone else warm. I'm trying to believe that. But it's hard when your entire family is calling you a monster. My phone has been ringing nonstop. Cousins I haven't talked to in years are messaging me about family loyalty. My dad's brother called to tell me that Dad would be ashamed of me. My dad's been dead for 6 years, and Uncle Mike knows exactly how to twist that knife. I've had to turn off my phone. I'm writing this from my laptop. The house is so quiet. I thought I wanted this. I thought I wanted my space back, my privacy, my life. But I keep walking past the girls' room. It's still full of their things. They only packed a few bags. And I feel sick. There's a stuffed elephant on the younger one's bed. Sophie. She's had it since she was born. She sleeps with it every night. She must be so scared without it. I don't know what I'm asking anymore. I don't know if I'm the asshole or the victim or both. The police report has been filed. The investigation is moving forward. Rachel could be arrested within the week. And I'm sitting in my quiet house, finally alone like I wanted, feeling like I've destroyed everything. My lawyer says I'm doing the right thing. The credit card companies say I'm doing the right thing. Most of the commenters said I needed to protect myself. But Emma's hug keeps replaying in my mind. And I wonder if doing the right thing for me means doing the worst possible thing for everyone else I love. I don't know what I'm going to do if they arrest her. I don't know if I could live with myself if the girls end up in foster care. But I also don't know if I can live with $47,000 in fraudulent debt hanging over my head for the next decade. There's no good answer here. There's just bad and worse. And I have no idea which one I'm choosing. Update 2. The arrest happened. I don't even know how to write this. My hands won't stop shaking. Rachel was arrested this morning. At my mother's house. In front of the girls. I didn't know it was happening today. The detective said they'd keep me informed. But I guess informed doesn't mean warned in advance. I found out because Emma called me hysterical, screaming that the police took her mom. I've never driven so fast in my life. I don't even remember the drive. 1 second I was at my kitchen table, the next I was pulling into Mom's driveway behind 2 police cars. Emma and Sophie were on the front porch with my mother. Both girls were sobbing. Mom's face was stone. When she saw me get out of my car, something flickered across her expression that I'd never seen before. Not anger, not disappointment, something colder. Hatred. My own mother looked at me with pure hatred. "Are you happy now?" she said. Her voice was flat, dead. The girls ran to me anyway. Sophie crashed into my legs so hard I almost fell. Emma wrapped her arms around my waist and buried her face in my shoulder. They were both shaking. "They put handcuffs on Mommy," Sophie sobbed. "Why did they put handcuffs on Mommy?" I couldn't answer. I couldn't speak. I just held them while they cried and tried not to fall apart myself. One of the officers came over. Young guy, maybe late 20s, looking deeply uncomfortable. "Are you Sarah Chambers?" I nodded. "We need to ask you a few questions. Is there somewhere we can talk?" Mom's voice cut through. "Take it inside. The neighbors don't need more of a show." We went into Mom's living room. The officer, Detective Rodriguez, pulled out a notebook. "Your sister has been arrested on 3 counts of identity theft and fraud. The credit card companies confirmed that the cards were opened using your information without your consent. Ms. Chambers, Rachel, has admitted to opening the accounts." "She admitted it?" I whispered. "Yes, she's being cooperative. She'll be arraigned tomorrow morning. The prosecutor will likely offer a plea deal depending on her willingness to make restitution." "What does that mean for her?" He shifted uncomfortably. "Given the amount, $47,000, and the duration of the fraud, she's looking at felony charges. If she takes a plea deal, probably 3 to 5 years. If she goes to trial and loses, could be up to 10. The room tilted. 10 years. The court will take her circumstances into account. The domestic violence history, the children, the fact that she's a first-time offender. But the amount pushes it into serious territory." I heard Sophie crying in the other room. Emma's voice trying to comfort her. "What happens to the girls?" "That's up to the family. Your mother said she'd take them. If not, Child Protective Services will get involved." After he left, I sat on Mom's couch feeling like I'd been hollowed out. Mom came in, closed the door so the girls wouldn't hear. "I hope you can live with yourself," she said. "Mom." "No. You don't get to explain. You don't get to justify. You put your sister in jail. Your nieces just watched their mother get arrested. So I hope whatever point you were trying to make was worth it. She stole from me. She committed fraud. She made a mistake. A mistake." I stood up. "A mistake is forgetting to pay a bill. A mistake is bouncing a check. Opening 3 credit cards in someone else's name over 18 months is not a mistake. It's deliberate, systematic theft." "She's your sister," Mom said, and her voice broke. "She's your baby sister and you destroyed her life. She destroyed her own life. I didn't make her steal my identity. You could have handled this privately. Family counseling, payment plans, something. Anything but this. The credit card companies needed a police report, Mom. This wasn't a choice. Everything is a choice, Sarah. You chose this. You chose your money over your family. That's not fair." "Fair?" Mom laughed, bitter and sharp. "You want to talk about fair? Those girls are 9 and 12 years old. They've already lost one parent to violence. Now they're losing the other one to prison. Where's the fairness in that?" I had no answer. There was no answer. "I'll take them," Mom said. "I'll raise them, but you need to leave. You're not welcome here anymore." "Mom." "Leave, Sarah, and don't come back." I wanted to argue. I wanted to defend myself. But Sophie appeared in the doorway, holding her stuffed elephant. Someone must have brought it over, and she looked at me with these huge, confused eyes. "Aunt Sarah, are you going to bring Mommy home?" I knelt down, tried to keep my voice steady. "Sweetie, your mom has to. She has to go away for a little while. But your grandma is going to take care of you and—" "But why did the police take her? Mommy didn't do anything bad." How do you explain this to a 9-year-old? How do you say your mother stole from me without making yourself sound like a monster? "It's complicated, honey. Did you call the police?" Emma's voice, from behind Sophie, harder, older, accusing. "Emma, did you call the police on our mom?" I looked at my older niece, this girl I'd helped raise for 3 years, and saw the exact same expression Mom had given me. That cold, hard hatred. "Yes," I said, because I wasn't going to lie to her. I had to file a report. "Your mom did something that hurt me financially, and I had to." "I hate you," Emma said. The words hit like a physical blow. "Emma, please." You're supposed to be family. You're supposed to help us. Mom said you were the only person who cared about us, and now you're the reason she's gone. I hate you. I hope I never see you again." She took Sophie's hand and pulled her away from me. Sophie looked back once, confused and crying, before Emma dragged her upstairs. I looked at my mother. She said nothing, just stood there with her arms crossed, waiting for me to leave. So I left. I drove home in a daze, sat in my car in my driveway for an hour before I could make myself go inside. The house was so quiet, so empty. This was what I wanted, right? My space back, my privacy, my life. Felt like a tomb. I called my lawyer, told him what happened. He was sympathetic but firm. I did the right thing. The only thing I could do legally. The debt would be removed from my credit report once the investigation concluded. My financial future was protected. My financial future. What a hollow victory. Couldn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Sophie's confused face, Emma's hatred, the handcuffs on Rachel's wrists. At 3 a.m., I got up and went to the girls' room, sat on Sophie's bed. The room still smelled like them, that specific kid smell of shampoo and crayons and something sweet I could never identify. Their drawings were still on the walls, pictures of the three of us. My family written in wobbly crayon letters. I found the drawing Sophie had made, the one thanking me for being the best aunt ever. Looked at the three stick figures holding hands, the big smile on my stick figure's face. That person felt like a stranger now. My phone buzzed. A text from a number I didn't recognize. "This is Linda. You're not welcome at any family events anymore. Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, none of it. You made your choice. Now live with it." Then another text from my cousin Marie. "I can't believe you did this to Rachel. She needed help and you called the cops? What is wrong with you?" Then another, and another. My phone kept lighting up with messages from relatives, some I hadn't spoken to in years, all telling me what a terrible person I was. I turned off my phone, sat in the dark, tried to convince myself I'd done the right thing. But if I'd done the right thing, why did I feel like I'd just blown up my entire life? The next morning, I called the prosecutor's office, asked about the arraignment. They said Rachel had a public defender and would likely be offered a plea deal. 3 years minimum if she cooperated. 3 years. Sophie would be 12 when her mom got out. Emma would be 15. I thought about those years. All the milestones Rachel would miss. Sophie's first period. Emma learning to drive. High school graduations. First dates. First heartbreaks. All because I couldn't let the fraud go. But how could I let it go? $47,000. My credit destroyed. Years of savings wiped out. My entire financial future compromised because my sister decided she was entitled to my identity. I called my therapist. I'd started seeing one after the first update, on the advice of about 100 commenters. Got an emergency session. "I don't know if I'm the villain or the victim," I told her. "Everyone says I'm destroying my family, that I chose money over love, that I'm punishing my nieces for their mother's mistakes. But I didn't do anything wrong. Rachel did. So why do I feel like the monster?" My therapist asked me something I wasn't expecting. "If you could go back, knowing everything you know now, the arrest, the girl's reaction, losing your family, would you still file the police report?" I couldn't answer. She let the silence sit. Then, "Sarah, you're experiencing a trauma response. Your sister violated your trust in the most fundamental way. She literally stole your identity. Your anger is justified. Your actions were legally and morally defensible. But that doesn't mean there aren't consequences. Life isn't fair. Sometimes doing the right thing for yourself means other people get hurt. But the girls are not your responsibility. Their mother's choices are not your burden to carry. But I love them. I know you do. But love doesn't obligate you to set yourself on fire to keep them warm." That phrase again. Multiple people had said it in the comments. I hated how true it felt. After therapy, I went to the courthouse. Sat in the back of the arraignment. Rachel looked so small in her orange jumpsuit. Her public defender was young, fresh out of law school probably, shuffling papers and looking overwhelmed. The prosecutor read the charges. 3 counts of identity theft, 3 counts of fraud. Total amount, $47,283. Rachel pled not guilty. The judge set bail at $50,000. My mother somehow came up with the 10% needed for a bail bond. Rachel was released on the condition she didn't contact me and wore an ankle monitor. I watched her walk out of the courtroom with Mom. Watched them not look at me even though I knew they'd seen me. Watched my mother put her arm around Rachel's shoulders, protective and fierce. I used to be in that circle. I used to be protected too. Now I was the threat they needed protecting from. I went home, found an envelope had been slipped under my door. My mother's handwriting. Inside was a bill, itemized. 3 years of groceries, utilities, school supplies, everything I'd paid for while Rachel and the girls lived with me. At the bottom, Mom had written, "Since you apparently keep score, here's your proof that Rachel couldn't possibly pay you back. You've already taken everything from her. I hope you're satisfied." The total came to about $31,000. I sat with that number for a long time. $31,000 in support over 3 years. About $860 a month. Reasonable for housing 3 people. But the credit card debt was $47,000, which meant Rachel had spent $16,000 more than I'd already given her. On what? I logged into the credit card accounts. I had access now as the fraud victim. Started going through the charges. Cash advances. Hundreds of them. Small amounts, $200 to $300 at a time, always from different ATMs. A used car purchase, $8,000. Plane tickets to Disney World, $2,400. Designer handbags. Multiple charges at Coach Michael Kors, $3,000 total. A new iPhone for Emma, $1,200. Spa days, hair salons, restaurants I couldn't afford to eat at myself. She wasn't using the money for necessities. She was using it to live a life she couldn't afford, to play at being financially stable while destroying my financial stability. I felt my sympathy evaporating, felt the guilt crystallizing into something harder. She'd had choices. She could have gotten a second job, could have lived within her means, could have saved slowly and built toward a house the honest way. Instead, she'd stolen my identity and lived like someone who hadn't just escaped an abusive marriage, like someone who deserved luxury after her trauma. And maybe she did deserve some joy after what she'd been through, but not with my stolen identity, not at the cost of my future. My phone rang. Rachel's lawyer. "Ms. Chambers, I'm calling to discuss a possible resolution. My client is willing to plead guilty to reduce charges in exchange for a restitution agreement. She's prepared to pay back the full amount over time." "How long?" "We're proposing a 20-year payment plan, approximately $200 a month." I did the math. 20 years at $200 a month was $48,000. Barely covering the principal, nothing for interest or the damage to my credit. That's not acceptable. "Ms. Chambers, my client has 2 minor children and limited income. This is the best she can offer. Then she can serve her time. I'm not agreeing to a payment plan that'll take 2 decades and still leave me with credit damage. Think about what you're doing. Those children are not my responsibility," I said, echoing my therapist. "Their mother made choices. Now she gets to face consequences." I hung up, sent the prosecutor an email. I would not accept any plea deal that reduced Rachel's charges. I wanted full prosecution. Then I sat in my quiet house and waited to feel like I'd won something. The feeling never came.